Thank you so much. Our next speaker is Mr. Oded Ilan, Director of Sales in CyberGym. Mr. Ilan, as CyberGym's Director of Sales, is in charge of the company's international sales and business development activities. Also, he coordinates the group's commercial activities and product marketing materials. His previous roles include CEO and co-founder of Comobile, VP Marketing at Aliru, and VP Business Development at Credit. Thank you so much for coming. Can we make it work? Or this one?
Okay, what's this? One of them is working? Never mind, I'll use this. Okay. I'll use this. I'll just use this. Hello? I'll explain to you why you see both the logos of CyberGym and Israeli Electric Corporation here. CyberGym is a subsidiary of Israeli Electric Corporation. And it's interesting because this is, I think, the only external investment that Israel Electric Corporation has. And it says something about IEC's understanding of the global threats that they are facing and their understanding of how to deal with them. Israel Electric Corporation is one of the most attacked bodies in the world. I don't know if you know the numbers, but Israel Electric Corporation sees thousands of attacks per day and between 2 to 4 zero-day attacks every month. Most corporations around the world don't see it, and the reason is that this is, at the end of the day, the most critical body in Israel. Now, how is this thing working, by the way? I'll just use these. Okay. Okay, so I'll just use this. It's okay. I'll just use this. It's okay? Okay. Is that Kadima? Is that Kadima? Okay. Okay. So the thing that Israel Electric Corporation needs to deal with is the fact that you have in the organization 13,000 employees. It's the largest employer in Israel. And you need to ensure that every one of those employees, at the end of the day, safeguards your organization. This is not something that can be done just by technological means. And you need to ensure that there are policies in the organization that actually deal with that. The good thing for Israeli Electric is that at the end of the day, it's a regulated body. Israel is a country which is under attack all the time. And because of that, Israel Electric Corporation needs to follow regulations that NISA, the National Information Security Authority, requests of them. At the end of the day, this is the only utility for electricity that we have. Right now it's changing a little bit, but still they do provide most of the electricity in Israel, and they do actually have the largest amount of electricity produced in Israel. And unfortunately, these 17 power plants and all of the other operations that they have need to be on a daily basis guarded against those attacks. We have very good neighbors, like everybody knows, and unlike European countries that can compensate for malfunctions, for issues with external sources, Israeli Electric needs to fend everything and compensate for everything on its own. And because our neighbors have many reasons to attack us, and also have the capabilities, it has been spoken about before here, we actually have a very, very high level of exposure. This is very frightening, but at the end of the day, we don't have that many issues. We do go on receiving electricity on a daily basis. At the end of the day, we receive our services without stopping, and there's a reason for that. And the reason is that Israeli Electric actually has a very, very good policy for protecting itself. There are some things that we have learned from our experience in defending Israel Electric against attacks. And these are that you need to provide a solution which encompasses the full security of the organization, not just the physical, but also the cyber field, and combine them into one security solution. It was spoken about before about the fact that you need a unified response, and that means unified response on all levels of security. First of all, there is a National Control Center in IEC. It's one of the most advanced in the world, the Security Operations Center, and it actually oversees all of the operations on a daily basis, receives thousands of threat attacks, and deal with them on a daily basis. And you need to ensure that all of your employees are aware of the threats and know how to deal with them. So, a consolidated approach which sees all of the risks, reacts to them, and sees cybersecurity as a major part of the survivability of the organization. At the end of the day, Israeli Electric is not a security company. It's a company that needs to provide services. Unlike the people who were speaking here before, who were talking about security, Israeli Electric is a company that provides services. It's supposed to provide electricity. Security isn't its major issue. The major issue is availability, the fact that you go on providing electricity. But because of our present state, because of the fact that Israel is a country under attack, because electricity is so critical for everything, it needs to make security a very, very major part of its day-to-day life. And this is why they invested, in addition to the security center, which actually collects and monitors and reviews everything and is operated on a very, very high level, they invested in CyberGym under the understanding that you need to train your people. Now, CyberGym is a company that came from the understanding of people who came actually out of NISA, people who came from the National Information Security Authority, who have been dealing on a daily basis with securing Israel against cyber attacks. And this understanding has brought us to see that every person in the organization needs to be aware of the threat and deal with it. And the best way to do it is training. It's not enough to talk about it. It's not enough to teach people about cyber threats. You need to let them understand it on a deeper level. You need to let them understand that on a daily basis, they don't really understand what is going on. I want to show you a movie from a training session in Israel that was conducted to Israel Electric Corporation employees. It's going to make a bit of yeah. That's noisy. How do I change it back? Thank you. What you see here is the actual facility, which is CyberGym. And you see trainees who come over to be trained in a real cyber, under real cyber threats and real cyber attack. They come over, they have a week training, and in this week they learn about the different threats, and they have actual 3 days of real combat practice. This group has come over, they map their environment, they learn about it, and once they are ready, the white team, which manages the war game, tells them that you are now under attack. The red team starts to attack, and the attacks don't include just physical and technological means, but also social engineering. What you see now is a guy dressed as an employee of Israel Electric Corporation, who's actually an attacker, who attacks the PLC units, and from then begins a technological attack on the group, uses all sorts of psychological means, whether it's water running, whether it's alarms, lights going on and off, changing the speed of the turbine. People actually start to panic. They learn to understand what it means to be under attack. This is not something that you can read about. This is something you need to undergo in order to be able to actually fend off a real attack when it happens. I'll let you look at it, and you can see how the people themselves get engaged with the game, how it becomes part of their understanding. And what's important here is that because this is training, the next time they do it, they get better at it. Actually, on the following day, they already got better. And this means that they learn not just about themselves, how they react, but how to react correctly during a cyber attack within their environment. How to not make the mistakes.
CyberGym.
How to do the right thing.
Expect the unexpected.
Okay, so this is an example of a training for electricity engineers. But we also do training for different types of IT environments. So we've trained a bank a couple of months ago from Portugal. We train governmental organizations. We train, of course, production companies. But the interesting thing that we've learned here is that it doesn't matter how knowledgeable you are, how much experience you have, until you've actually undergone an attack, you don't really know how you're going to react. I think this is pretty much what I'm going to talk about because this is a very, very short, and my time is up. Just wanted to know if you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So we have a little change in schedule. Mr. Andrei Dolkin will speak in the next session. We'll go out to a break right now. It's a 15-minute break, which means 12:30 we'll be back here. If you haven't been there yet, I urge you to go to the startup arena, to the startup place. You have to visit there at least once. It's amazing. There are brilliant people there. Just go there, visit there. You go out of this hall, you go right and right again, and you're there. This is it. Thank you so much.